Hello friends, Tanya Bozer here for Trinity Stamps, Day 9 of the 12 Days of Christmas series. And today we're going to make a shaker card with felt, well, shaker tag. You could use this element for any project, and I'm going to show you a couple of tips, or a tip, to work with felt. I'm using permanent sticker paper here that I purchased on Amazon, and I'll have a link in the description box below, along with all of the products I am using in this video. And I am adhering the felt to that. Now it's only sticky on one side, so you adhere the felt to the permanent sticker paper, and then you can die cut it, and it adds stability and ease of adhering this felt to your project. You can use this in a whole lot of ways. It also makes die cutting a dream. We're going to use the Wonky Wilderness die set. It's a Slimline die set, as you can see under my right hand here. And it comes with a bunch of features. These are the mountains, and the beautiful part of the mountain die here, or one of the beautiful parts, is that you can make these mountains any height you want because the bottom of the die is open. And then you can add the cute little stitched white snow caps. I did the same thing with white felt as I did with the brown felt, adhering it to the permanent sticker paper before I die cut the white felt with those little snow caps. And I'm using a little bit of score tape to adhere those to the brown mountain base. And it sticks like a dream. Here I'm trying some not sticker paper trees, and they just felt too flimsy. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out off screen a whole pile of these trees in a dark and a light green, and I decided I needed another layer of mountains. This is the same mountain die. There is a single mountain die in this set also, but I decided to use the double and then just trim off one of the mountains, or I think I just didn't include it when I was die cutting. So we're going to layer these together, and in order to keep this whole element even, I did trim off a scrap of the brown felt to add underneath the back layer to make it all nice and even. And now we're going to add all of these little trees. There are 3 tree dies in this die set, in the Wonky Wilderness Slimline die set, and I cut out several of each of these colors, and I am going to layer the lighter color more in the background. I'm trying to use all of the varieties of trees here, and then I'm going to add the darker trees on the front. I want a nice full forest in front of this mountain scene, which feels very, I guess it doesn't look necessarily wintry. We'll make it look wintry later on. Look at how that turned out. I love it. It's kind of thick. It does have a lot of dimension. You could use this for a whole lot of different projects. Now we're going to use the 4-bar die set and some of the Trinity Stamps Slimline paper. I think this is called All the Trimmings. And we're going to use this snowflake pattern to create this card, or this shaker tag. I am cutting one out of the pattern paper and one out of cardstock, and we're using this scalloped frame also. This is going to be the front of our shaker element, and I'm taking a little bit of acetate from my stash and trimming it down to fit behind this frame. I'm also using some 1/8 inch score tape to adhere the acetate to the back of this scalloped frame. And one of the little tricks I've learned, I can't remember who I learned it from. So many people, I watch so many people's videos. I am peeling back a little bit of the score tape and leaving most of it intact. Guess what? It sticks really good. Once you put it on there, it's on there forever. Now with this folded back piece, you can easily position your acetate where you want it and then pull off the rest of the backing. I did not get it quite lined up perfectly. You saw me try to reposition it. It didn't happen. So I'm just going to trim off the extra. Now I've already laid down one layer of my favorite dimension feature, and that is some coaster blank that I've trimmed down to some very thin strips. And I'm going to adhere that with my Bearly Art Precision Glue, which is a very nice fine line glue. And I'm doing 2 layers of the coaster blank. I'm only showing you a couple of the pieces. It's the same all the way around. I put 1 layer down and then I put a 2nd layer down. This creates a perfectly sturdy base for a shaker card. I'm going to wipe any debris, fuzzies, or anything that might be sticking to the inside of the acetate, which generally has a lot of static going on. And I am also going to glue the white cardstock to the back of the patterned paper piece so that only one of the patterns is showing, and this way you can write on the back easily if you want to make this a tag, or if you need to put a little message on the back if you're giving this away as an ornament. It just also adds a little bit of extra sturdiness to the project. Now I'm going to take some glass slipper confetti mix from Trinity Stamps. I believe this will be back in stock soon after the move. And I'm going to add a little bit of the Bearly Art Precision Glue here to the back of the shaker frame. And I'm going to add that to the front. And now we're going to have a beautiful little snowy shaker. The mountains will then get adhered. Look at that. I love that snowy effect. And the glue sticks very quickly to this pattern paper, even though it's a very heavy pattern paper and has a shininess to it. It does stick very easily with every adhesive I've used so far. You know how some things can be a little slippery and difficult to work with? This is not at all. It's very lovely and luscious. Look at all that shaking. I love the way that snowy look was achieved with that confetti mix. I'm going to use my Crop-A-Dile to cut a couple of holes in this tag, and I'm using some twine from my stash, some baker's twine. You most likely have lots of twine in your stash also. So I'm judging how much I want. I'm going to trim this off, and I will carefully thread it through the hole here and tie it in a double knot. This just makes sure that it doesn't slip through the hole. You could thread it through both holes and then just tie one knot at the end in order to make that the top of your hanger, but that's not what I chose to do this time. I think in retrospect I should have done that other method that I just described, but this is what I did. And I left a nice long piece here so that if you wanted to hang this from the tree, you'd have lots of room to hang it on a branch. I am going to add another detail here. I'm going to, I'm fixing my knot. I didn't quite get the second knot over the top of the first one. Easily fixed. So I'm going to make another loop at the top here. I feel like that just keeps it a little tidier. So if you wanted to hang it on a hook, you could hang it on a hook. It's easy to add that to a ribbon. And here you can see how well the confetti moves around inside of the shaker. I hope you enjoyed this. I had a lot of fun creating it, and I can picture this on so many different projects. I could see it glued to the front of a card. I could see it hanging from your tree, hanging on a peg in your house. It would work all over the place. Be sure to check out the next video. Actually, we're going to link the first video in the series to this video here in this spot. Till next time, bye-bye now.